Popular, but false doctrines. Here's one. God just wants you to be happy. We'll point out two fundamental problems with this idea and two truths which will help correct our thinking. The first problem is that sin is fun. Hebrews 11:25 mentions the fleeting pleasures of sin. And these fleeting pleasures can be mistaken for happiness, and so sin works its deception. And secondly, this thinking, defining happiness by my own pleasures, is humanism, which leads to materialism, living for the wonders of wealth, and it leads to unscriptural relationships, including various arrangements which are fornication, including unscriptural marriages, and it leads to worldliness, a lack of self-control, the pursuit of vices, akin to hedonism. This false idea can be, and I suppose has been, used to justify just about every sin imaginable. So what's the truth of the matter? Well, in the first place, God does want us to be happy. Rejoice in the Lord always. Again I will say, rejoice. Philippians 4, verse 4. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace. Galatians 5:22. And secondly, true happiness comes from following our Creator's instructions. God primarily wants us to be faithful. True happiness comes on His terms. Let's go back to the beginning. God said to Cain, "Why are you angry, and why has your face fallen?" He wasn't happy, right? "If you do well, will you not be accepted?" Genesis 4, 6, and 7. You see, Cain had offered a sacrifice to God that was familiar and easily available to him, but God was not pleased with Cain's sacrifice. Cain needed to worship as God had instructed. He needed to act as his brother had acted, by faith. Hebrews 11, verse 4. Doing well sometimes involves giving up our own will, even our own happiness. In Romans 14, some Christians were acting selfishly in a certain matter without showing proper regard for the sensibilities of others. Their behavior was hurtful, even destructive to the others, and they are called on to correct the problem by following the example of our Lord Jesus. We who are strong have an obligation to bear with the failings of the weak, and not to please ourselves. Let each of us please his neighbor for his good, to build him up. For Christ did not please himself. Romans 15, verses 1 through 3. Here's a simple illustration. A car runs best when the driver follows the owner's manual. Operating according to the manufacturer's instructions can be a little restrictive and may even cost more than we want to spend, but everyone will agree that it keeps the car running beautifully. So let's do as God tells us, first and always, and we will be happy, both now and forever.